Hey guys, it's the Bachelor. You already know the Arab Boogeyman. So check this out, right? So believe it or not, I'm at this Turkish restaurant, and I guess one of my followers must have like walked up on me. This guy and the waiter there, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Are you an actor or something?" I'm like, "Nah, man." I'm like, "It's me, the Bachelor from YouTube." He's like, "Oh man," he's like, because I've always wanted to get into acting." He's like, I go up to Stilettos up in New York State. He's like, where all the actors go. He's like, guess what? He's like, I was there one day, and Sylvester Stallone was there. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He's like, and Jean-Claude Van Damme was there too. I was like, Jean-Claude Van Damme was there. He was like, yeah. He's like, but you know what happened? I'm like, what happened? He's like, Sylvester Stallone started making fun of Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he started saying some anti-Semitic stuff, and they were drinking, and Jean-Claude Van Damme jumped up and karate chopped the table. Was like, I'm Jewish, god damn it. That whole Dimmock type of move, like in Bloodsport. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, they started fighting with Sylvester Stallone. And then apparently they called the sheriff's department. So Steven Seagal showed up and he actually arrested Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he was telling everybody that Jean-Claude Van Damme has an anger issue and he's always fighting and that he can't fight and that a 14-year-old kid had actually beat him up one of these days. So then suddenly my waiter guy here, he goes to me, he's like, he went over to, Stallone, and he was like, yo, man, he's like, you can't box. You can't box. And the guy was like, yo, you want a round? He was like, yeah. He was like, like one more round, like and over that Rocky Five. And they went outside and, he started boxing him like he was boxing Tommy. And apparently the waiter said that he punched him and the guy got knocked out. He fell over on the ground somewhere by a fence, and his face started vibrating. And the bodyguards let him fight him, and then he went over to the bodyguards. He's like, "Why is that guy's face vibrating?" And he said that basically Stallone had some bad Botox, and that's why the one side is like this. And he's like talking, like Adrian. He's talking out of the side of his mouth. So then there was a stir up, and the Russian mob was there. And this is what the waiter's telling me. He said the Russian mob pulled up in a Jeep SRT8, and they had gotten out, and they were like, "Hey man, like like you got to come with us." And he was like, "No." So they cut the earlobes off of him, and he had some reconstructive surgery to put them back together. They stole his chain. Apparently said that it was platinum. But then he was smart enough to hop in the back of his Chevy Tahoe. It'll show you what American vehicles could do. He crashed into them. Then when he got out, he said he took one of the mobsters and tombstoned the SOB into the ground. And he said he was able to get away, come back to Jersey. When he told me all of this, I honest to God thought that everything that he said was true. But then I come to realize that this guy was actually a better comedian than I was. And he was definitely looking for a tip. Absolutely.